welcome to the Retrade. This is Michael Mayer. We are here at the Family Health CBD studio. In studio today, I have my friend Chris Flannery with CV Inspections. How you doing, dude?
Good, Michael. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I've been trying to get you on for a couple days here, but I know you're busy. People are starting to buy houses again, so that's good.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
How are you guys doing as far as business?
You know, it's slowed down because of the COVID-19, but we've had to take some precautions ourselves just to make sure that, you know, the occupants of the home don't get sick when they show up.
So what are you guys doing for that?
Well, we're wearing our masks and rubber gloves and booties and that, and just taking every precaution we can. We even started out wiping down surfaces as we come in. One of the most important things that we've come to find out is that we know now that the heat may kill the coronavirus. Which is good for us here in Las Vegas, right? So we tend to do, when we're starting a home inspection, we open up the windows and the doors to let some of the air escape the home to bring in some of that fresh air to help us, so that way we're not, you know, wearing a cloth mask and a paper mask tends to fill up with water, so you're waterboarding yourself after about 15 minutes.
Of course. When I was younger, I worked at a haunted house for 4 years, and I'll tell you what, after a month of wearing a mask, that thing starts to stink.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well, you know, I wear the respirator sometimes in the house if the occupants remain in the house and they won't evacuate the house when we do the inspection. I'll put on the respirator, but the problem with the respirator is that you're getting it all steamed up, and then, you know, all the fluids are building up inside that mask.
Yeah.
You know, and it has to be cleaned before you put it away so it's fresh for your next use.
I see you've shaved to fit the mask on.
I did shave so I could put the respirator on.
I think I got a picture of you here somewhere before you shaved. We'll share it with everybody. Let's see. There it is. Oh, maybe it's taking its time. Ah, there you are. Even Valerie. There's the beard.
Yeah, there's the beard. I spent a lot of time in the fire department.
Okay.
I was a building official for 25 plus years. And then during my building official duties for jurisdictions like the city of Hollister, California, city of Patterson, California, I came out to Nevada in '06 to White Pine County. I was there from '06 to 2014 when I finally retired. Wearing your SCBA and your other gear for the fire department, because I was the district fire chief the same time I was the building and planning director. You're constantly shaving your head, you're shaving your face, so your mask and your gear can work tightly against your face. And not very many people realize this. You just can't go out and get a respirator and put it on. You should be fitted for it. And so spending that time in the fire department, I've learned what size I am, but I've learned too, you're not going to fit with a beard. But once I got out of it in 2014, one day I just stopped buying razors and I just let it go. My wife was very angry with me, but it just was part of my personality. You know,
I think it grew on her, right? Eventually?
It did grow on her, but not as much as you can see. I look a little Grizzly Adams there.
The hair's tame that day. The hair's kind of tame.
Yeah.
I've seen other days where it's flowing up there. Ooh, bottle down.
Right?
Why isn't this one open? There we go.
But what I come to find out is when I'm clean shaven, then people want to talk to me. So if I was, you know, let my beard grow and my hair go, nobody really wanted to talk to me. So I was pretty to do my job.
Okay. That's funny. Yeah, there we are
there we are before I shaved when the COVID first broke out.
Got your gloves on there, all set.
Yes, sir.
You found gloves to match your phone there. And then we have you shaving here. Looks like you went down to the sign.
Yeah, we went down to the sign. We actually had to go pick up a check that day, and we thought, oh, we'll go up the strip, and we did. And so we grabbed our, Valerie's got her N95 mask there, but I grabbed one of my cloth masks, and we went out to the sign. So we took pictures with our masks on, and then we took them off so we could take pictures and send it to our family just to show them.
It's eerie seeing the strip empty like that, isn't it?
It is very not normal.
Yeah.
Definitely not normal. It was very unique, you know, to drive down the strip and actually go as slow as you want and actually look around at the strip. You know.
So many locals have been down there bicycling.
I seen that.
Yeah, tons of people.
I would go down there, but I'm afraid I'd wear out my bike before I got back.
Let's see, we got 2 more pictures of you to share. Pulled one from Christmas time.
Oh, there we go with the family.
Yeah, who's all in this one?
Well, I've got my son and his girlfriend, and then we have our adopted son in there. He's a firefighter. Yeah,
This is your son and girlfriend?
that's our son there, and that's his girlfriend.
This is your adopted son?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. How long's he been with you guys?
For years. They've been, they're best friends, and they've been best friends for years. So
Okay.
many years. And it's a long story, and I really don't want to get into it because
Right.
it's really touching, and
Yeah.
I might break into tears. If my wife watches it, she will break into tears.
Aw.
And there's my wife and I, and then her sister, a school
sister.
teacher here at the local high school.
How's she doing? How's she feel about this whole COVID thing?
It's challenging, especially for the schools, because, as you know, school teachers purchase a lot of their own equipment for the
Right.
classrooms, whereas she was going through hand sanitizers, maybe 2 bottles a year, nice-sized ones, towards
okay.
when it was changing to where they were actually just, children are actually coming up and pumping handfuls of it,
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this lays out for the next following school year.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see how kids have taken this on. Other guests have talked about their kids having birthday parties. And I
Yes.
was like, oh man, was that hard to, but fortunately their birthdays weren't right at the beginning. They were, a good month into it already, so they already kind of knew the situation, and it wasn't too hard to explain to them why their friends couldn't come have a
Right.
party.
Right.
And so I know people have been doing like a birthday parade, like where their friends just drive by and say hi, drop off a present. type
Right.
thing.
Right.
And that's pretty cool. Hopefully, things of that nature can get back to normal soon for kids.
I sure hope it gets back to normal for the
everybody,
country.
right?
Yeah, for everybody, for the world actually.
That'd be nice. Here we got some fur babies.
Yes, there's my my best friend Cobalt sitting there, just kind of relaxing on the chair, and my cat Snowball snuggled up to him.
They get along pretty good.
They do, but however, they take over my chair. That's
That's your
my chair, and I worked hard for that chair. All my life, I wanted my own chair, and you can see how that panned out for me.
They're keeping it warm for you.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to bother them either. They deserve to sit in my chair.
I have 3 dogs now. 2 pit mixes that I've rescued.
Oh, nice.
And then when I met my girlfriend, started dating her, she had a little dog, but really old, 17 years old. And she passed away
Oh,
back in February.
it's like losing a family member, really.
It's really hard for her because a lot of time her family's all back in Mississippi.
Right.
There's a big distance between her and her family, and through all the boyfriends and all that stuff she's dealt with, and she takes her breakups very hard, and she's one of these ones that'll be inside for weeks.
Sure.
So the dog was always there for her.
Right.
Now it's not. It's really been hard on her.
Yeah.
So anytime she catches a memory or picture,
It's amazing because I can look at Cobalt and he can look at me and I could just tell him all my problems and he's non-judgmental against
Right.
me, so, I get it, what I
one
mean?
that will do that, she'll just stare at you like she's a human, like she's just taking it all in.
Yeah,
And then my other one, she's just like a kid. She's supposed to play.
yeah, she's done, yeah, right.
She's a chair hog. She, as soon as I get up, she crawls right into my spot every time.
That's what happens, yes.
They like that warm spot. How's your weekend?
It was good. We just we spent some of the time at home. We actually scheduled an inspection for Memorial Day, and that was, I can't remember where we had to go to get that done, but it was pretty good.
Lake Las Vegas.
Lake Las Vegas, yeah, that's right, yes.
Fine,
Lake Las
pictures.
Vegas.
Pretty nice
That's-
house out there. There's some nice house.
Those are some nice areas. I love that Lake Las Vegas. And when you get up there, it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just out walking around and just enjoying life.
It's a great area. It did take a real hard hit when the economy dropped in '08.
I'm sure it did, yeah.
It's rough. All the
But it's up there
casinos closed and
booming
whatnot, but yeah.
pretty good up there now. I mean,
Yeah,
they
the
got
one
new
casino never
construction
opened
everywhere.
again, but it's doing well.
Yeah.
The HOAs out there, have you ever seen what those are?
No, but I could imagine they're probably pretty pricey.
Several HOAs.
Yes.
So like if you want to go rent, buy a condo, you start looking at condo prices out there like 200, 239. I think there's even some like studios for 150. So you're like, oh man, that's totally doable. So we'll get people out there and we'll go to start showing them, and then I'm like, all right, you like it? Yeah, we love the view. And then like, are you ready for this part?
Here, look at the CC&Rs.
Yeah. By the time you add it up, you're like 800 to 1,000 a month in HOA. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Really crazy.
It is amazing because you get out there and it's like you got to go through one gate to make it over to another gate to go through that gate to get to where you need to go.
Yeah, this association, yeah.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is the Lake Las Vegas Master Plan community has a really nice clubhouse, sports complex,
Oh,
pool.
it's
huge.
so gorgeous up there. And Del Webb is building those new homes up
Yeah.
there now too. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it's very nice out there. This is what I did for the weekend. We decided to finally break out. Me and Maggie really haven't done anything.
Yeah, nobody really has, though, Michael, to be truthfully honest with you.
You're right. Well, I'm part of a culture of, going out to the desert, going out to the lakes, and a lot of these people are I'm not wearing masks, I don't care about this stuff.
Right.
To me, my own.
Right.
Worry about themselves, and that's it. So we've really stayed away from all of it, but again, with the heat being a factor, we're like, it's going to be warm, we might as well venture out a little bit. And we still stayed by people we're close to, so.
Sure.
Here's a picture of
Well,
us.
I still even carry these masks, but, these, they don't really afford you much of protection, but
No.
the theory is that to keep it contained within your
At least
area.
keep it to yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think that's the reason why I would wear one. I'm not myself really concerned about getting sick.
Right.
I'm one of these that don't get flus. I don't get the shots. I don't get the flus. It just doesn't happen to me. I have a really strong immune system. I don't know. My parents let me eat whatever I want when I was a little dirt rocks.
Right.
Working in the garage, come in with just hands covered in dirt and eat a sandwich,
Yeah.
Not even wash your hands.
Lick your fingers afterwards when you're
Yeah.
done. That was a good sandwich.
So I think that really built up an immune system in us.
Yeah.
That me and most of my family, that we really don't get sick. So, but I'd still wear one because I do have concern. I would hate to find out someone I came around got sick and
Yes. Right.
died. I don't think people consider that fact that you could be responsible for somebody's death.
I agree. When I was in the fire department, and when we would test our EMTs, we would have a rule. If they come in through the door during their testing and they didn't have their gloves on, they would fail. But we would make them still do their practical and tell them that they failed, but wouldn't tell them why they failed.
Right.
Because the whole theory behind that whole thing on teaching EMS was that if you can't protect yourself, you can't protect your patient.
Right.
So if you come in through the door without your PPE on, it's an automatic fail, but we wouldn't tell them till afterwards. So it kept them guessing. We said, sit in the next victim. But the truth of the matter is you need to learn to protect yourself, or you're not going to be able to protect people around you.
Right. Makes sense. So here we are on my friend's fountain. This is a really nice boat here.
Yeah, fountain?
Yeah, it's a 42-foot fountain. My buddy Skippy there, good friend.
Yeah.
This is actually my sister, Heather. These are her little kids here.
Oh, nice.
She's not so little anymore. In my head, she's still
A
seven,
child,
9
yeah,
years
yeah.
old, right? But no,
Right.
she's 15 now.
Yeah.
And this little one here, that's Cambria. This is Paisley. She's turning 9.
Oh, how
here in
fun.
June. They're awesome kids. They're so good. And then there's my girlfriend Maggie.
Uh-huh.
This is my friend Sandy. She's a very, very good friend of mine. Been really close to me through any relationship I've had. We've always called her my sister wife.
Uh-huh.
Whoever I'm dating.
Right.
If you're going to be with me, you're going to be around Sandy. And then that's her son Jake.
That looks like a good time.
Yeah, he actually comes and helps us with the CBD store here.
Oh, nice.
Telehealth CBD. We get him out on the corner spinning a sign out there.
Oh, how
So.
cool. How fast does that boat go on the water? Did you find out?
Yeah, so this boat, the people he bought it from says it'll do 86, which is pretty good for a big boat. Like
That is
this.
really good.
I
Yeah.
think it's got the Mercury Racing 525 supercharged motors in it.
Two of them?
2 of them. Mhm. So it sounds really gnarly. It puts out a pretty good wake and fountain. Actually shoots a big jet of water, up in the
Right,
air
yeah.
when it gets going. But that day we were maybe hitting 63.
That's still cooking on the water.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's
Well,
you're moving.
300 gallons of fuel on there and then a bunch of people and
Yeah.
so.
And he didn't have 300 gallons of fuel when he got back.
No. It goes through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are pricey.
Yeah.
Boat stands for break out another 1,000. That's for sure. Mine's been down for a while now. I have a big cruiser
Uh-huh.
and it's been down for over a year now.
It just needs money.
It does.
Just
I need a new
pour some money
I
on
need a
it.
new outdrive.
Oh, yeah. Then pour a lot of money on it.
Yeah. So not this spring, but last spring, I got all excited to go down and get my boat ready, right? I
Right.
got the oil, I was gonna go down and change the oil, clean up the boat, and then take it out for a little cruise by myself. And I get down there and I clean the whole inside, did it already, get all the spider webs off, and then go open the engine hatch, change. I even started to get ready to change the oil. You have to start the motor and run it. Which I did, changed the oil, and then looked out at the outdrive, and it looked like it was covered in algae. Like, okay, I can clean that off, right?
Yeah.
So I had a hydro lift, one of these lifts that's in the water that picks the boat up out of the water, and I had acquired it a couple years ago, but I never set it up for my boat, so I didn't actually park my boat on it. It just sits in my slip under the water.
Mm-hmm.
So you fill it up with air and it picks up and lifts the boat up. Well, if you don't adjust it for your boat sits wrong, right?
Oh, right.
So it used to be I back my boat in where the old boat on this used to pull in forward, and boats obviously slope up in the front.
Uh-huh.
So his was set higher on this side and low on this side. Well, with mine backed in, it would do the opposite. It would skunk it really bad. So I pick it up out of the water to look at my outdrive to spray it off, and it's not algae, it's like a cocoon.
Oh, no.
So I grab a stick and I'm like, start hitting it, and pieces just start breaking off with metal.
Oh. Oh, heartbreak.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
I wish I had a picture of it up on here. I don't. It's on my phone. But electrolysis just tore it apart.
Yeah.
Literally ate. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah,
People can't see the picture, but they'll get the reaction. Actually, I'll put it up in post. Let's see here. It's really bad. It ate the scag, which is the part that sticks down in the water below the prop. Ate the props. Ate pretty much everything. So the way you protect your boat from this is they have anodes on them.
Mm-hmm.
In freshwater lakes, you usually use zinc. So there's that cocoon we talked about.
All right. Wow. Yeah, wow.
Once I knocked it all off, look at the props.
Mm.
So you have these anodes that are supposed to collect the stray energy, stray power.
Mm-hmm.
And in a marina, people don't know this, but you get a lot of stray power. That's why you're not supposed to swim in a marina.
Right.
The marinas have anodes all over the place too.
Yes.
Spoken off the dock that they change out all the time. You're supposed to change your anodes on your boat every 2 or 3 years. I've owned that boat for 7 years. Never knew.
Never knew.
These.
Yeah, never knew there was an anode tied to it.
My first boat. It's a big boat, and didn't know about this.
Uh-huh.
You know, when you go out with other people parties, you don't learn about this stuff.
Right.
So learn the hard way. Yeah, it's going to cost me a couple grand.
Sometimes education costs money.
It does. What's worse is I don't own a trailer, so the boat's in the slip, and I pay
Right.
like $350 a month for my slip.
Right.
So I've literally paid the marina over $4,000 this last 12 months to store it there. If I had a trailer, I could have pulled it off a year ago.
And probably be
Fixed
working on it. Yeah.
Be back on the water now. I have a friend with a big trailer that his boat's finally on the water. Probably put his boat in my slip,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll take his trailer for a while.
And charge him, right?
I'll let him pay for the slip.
Right. That makes sense.
And then, because he's already paying for another slip,
Right.
but who doesn't want their boat out of the water? So he can use my lift.
So is that out the lake?
That is. So this is
pretty.
at, my boat's at Colville Bay. This is at Lake Mead Boat Harbor right here. So that's Boulder Beach, right over there.
Mm-hmm.
Boulder City would be
I see.
there. Yeah, that was the sunset on Sunday.
Wow, it's pretty.
It's beautiful. Yeah, we went out on this end of this dock here. One of my clients has a big yacht, 57-foot pilot house. It's really
That's a big boat. 57 feet is a lot of
Yeah.
boat.
not a houseboat either. It's an actual yacht.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. So we went out and had lunch and took my nieces on the jet skis and whatnot.
Oh,
Got
that sounds like
and
fun.
stuff. What else we got here? So let's talk a little bit about more your business.
Yeah.
So when I met you, it was in class actually, because I decided I was going to take a home inspection class.
Right.
So I went to
Right.
Key Real Estate, showed up to class, and there you were.
Right, and I remember you very well because you were very disruptive in the class. Asked a lot of questions.
Had to make known I was a realtor.
Yeah, you were marketing the class. No, it's all good. I really enjoy teaching there. I've been an educator for some time, especially when it comes to the building codes and energy codes. I was one of the first. I was the first energy code ambassador for the state of Nevada. So, what does that mean? That means that we know through the Department of Energy and the Department of Defense, or the DoD and the DOE, that we are going to take a tax on our grid. And so years ago, the governor accepted $34 million from the federal government to enforce the local jurisdictions to enforce the energy efficiency codes, which has helped us in a long way, but not a lot of people understood the energy efficiency codes.
Okay.
And most building department people or personnel are actually life safety people. It could care less about energy codes.
Right.
So the merge between the energy code and the model codes was very difficult at first, because life safety over here trumps any type of energy over here. And so the energy code was sealing up homes, and that's a life safety issue because now we're not getting any fresh air.
Right.
So in order for you to have a healthy home, you should have 4 to 5 air changes an hour in your house.
I think a lot of people, and I didn't know this until I took your class, that people don't realize that, they think their house is airtight, and and they start worrying about a door being open, bringing hot air in, which is true, it will, but your system is going to do this too, right?
It has to. And now we're looking at the model codes are going, okay, so it's unhealthy that we sit in these houses that are so airtight. Here we are with COVID-19, right?
Perfect example.
Perfect example. So someone brings it in the house, and now it's going to float around the house, and how do you get rid of it type thing? Well, this is what's happening to us. We've created unhealthy environments for us to live in, and your home should be your sanctuary.
Is this what we're seeing in nursing homes?
Yes.
Right.
Right. Because, if you cough here and this central AC system picks it up, it's going to disperse it throughout the building,
right,
wherever that supply is taking it, right? So it doesn't care. There's no discrimination. It's going to pick it up here and take it throughout wherever, right? Now these air conditioning systems actually have UV lighting, so as the air goes through the return, that UV lighting is actually killing all the virus that goes past that light, the UV light, because we know that the UV light is going to kill the virus. So now we're introducing air which are giving us that 4 to 5 air changes an hour. Now they have these other options, so now you become a very healthy home.
What year did this stuff get implemented? Like,
it's just recently.
How do people know if they have UV light and this system?
You would have to hire a professional HVAC person to go up there, because even if you have the UV light within your system, the bulb may need to be changed once a year.
Okay.
You see? So even for us as home inspectors, my wife and I, we do, I think we did, just between the two of us, 450 homes last year on home inspections. But we tend to touch a lot of these homes, and we always recommend that HVAC personnel do a tune-up on the system, even if it's a new one, because what we've come to find out is through like Nevada Energy or NV Energy, is that installers, if they install an AC unit during the winter, they haven't tuned it up for the summer.
Right.
So they've just set it there. Now they're done. People, the occupants of the home, think, oh, we got a brand new system, and it works great, and it probably does work great, but it hasn't been tuned up or balanced for that house.
Okay.
If that makes sense, because
Right.
it was set during the winter.
So let them know why we can't do this during the winter?
Well, and the reason why we can't do it during the winter is because we may damage that compressor, because the compressor is designed to compress vapor or gas.
Right.
And so refrigerant starts to settle into a liquid about 60 degrees. So over 60 degrees, then it starts to go into a vapor again, which that compressor can compress. But the compressor cannot compress a solid, and a liquid is a solid, so you can bend or break that compressor.
Right.
So we can't test it during the winter. Even when I talk to the HVAC guys, they'll say, no, we don't really test them.
So know this, guys, like when these guys come do a home inspection for you, right? So you're a realtor, you order a home inspection for your client. If you are in the heat of the summer or in the heat or the the cold of the winter, it's likely they're not going to be able to test one system or the other, heat or cooling.
Right, so on the cooling, we don't want it to be below 60 degrees for 24 hours because that refrigerant is going to be in a liquid form. And then if we're going to be testing the heat in the summer, we don't test the heat when it gets over 80 degrees. And the reason why is you're throwing that cool air through and across your heat exchanger, which could be a cast metal, and all of a sudden you shut that air off and then you throw heat to it, it could crack that heat exchanger. And if it's gas fired, that carbon monoxide could come into the house making people sick.
Right.
So 80 degrees is just too hot to run a heater without damaging it, especially when you got cool air going across the equipment. And then on the cooling side, you can't test it in the winter. So I get, it's kind of a balancing act on when you can do it. But we always recommend that we have an HVAC. We get ours tuned up every year before heating season and the cooling season.
One of those rejuvenations.
Well, yeah,
the commercial.
Yeah, but we don't like the rejuvenations, but we like the mom and pops type people because they tend to spend a little bit more attention to us than the bigger box stores, But we get ours done, and we've been doing it for so long now that they only charge us $30 to come over because they know our equipment.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's affordable, $30 before the cooling season to get your HVAC tuned up.
Yeah, and you wouldn't get that from a bigger company.
Right, rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Right.
They're still a good company, guys.
They are still a good company. I just prefer those smaller companies myself.
So now we know what you do. We know that you're also a teacher, so that's why it makes you an expert in this business. I think so. I've had you do a couple inspections for me, never a problem. Who are you using right now, HomeGauge or?
We use HomeGauge software. We kind of float between HomeGauge and HIP, Home Inspector Professional, because of the mobile devices they have. We've done a lot of inspections for the national investors that come into town. Redfin, we've done work for Redfin, Open Door, OfferPad. So they move a lot faster, so the HIP tends to work better for them because it's a mobile device.
Okay.
The software we use now. For our clients out here, we use HomeGauge
So this
because
is the software for writing their reports, guys.
For
and
writing
sending
the
them out to
reports,
you.
yes.
And it does kind of matter because the reports are situated differently, and as a realtor, you might get used to reading a report a certain way and know how to explain it to your clients.
Well, right, and so the HIP, Home Inspector Professional, is a mobile device, so you take a picture of it, and then you put it with the comment in it, and it goes straight into the report.
Okay.
So it's not really a fine finesse type thing, but when we're working for those national investors, we got to make sure we're picking up steam. Valerie and I, for the two of us, we've been known to do 4, 5, or even 6 inspections a day.
That's quite a bit.
That's quite a bit. So the HIP really helps us take off that time. But when we're working for our clients, we tend to only do about 2 a day because we like to keep it low, so that way we can pay better attention to what's going on. And then we use the HomeGauge software for that because now we can throw in some finesse. I could throw in some verbiage in there, even hyperlink stuff into it for our clients for better understanding. One of those things is like the swimming pools. We're big on swimming pools here. For Open Door, OfferPad, they just want to know, is the pool pump working? Is it leaking?
Right.
Things like that. But for our clients here locally, we know we get 2 or 3 children that drown a year here locally. So it's important that we take that time and we use the HomeGauge software so I can start adding those things in to help people understand their pool safety better.
If their gates are situated right.
Right. And there's a lot of local amendments to it, so I typically will take it from the Clark County Fire Department and just put it into the report for them, so that way they can determine, because it's a report from a home inspector is a recommendation.
Right.
So you get a lot of reports coming in. It seems like it's all opinionated, but the problem is it should be fact-based, and it should be recommendations that your client can take to help preserve their way of life and their safety.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, ideally. Cool. Yeah, I'll take in your class, even though I never went and got licensed to be a home inspector. It does help my business, as a realtor. When I meet with my clients, I can tell them I have taken the classes, so, I let them know that when we are out previewing houses, I am looking for issues.
Yes. Which is great because, you're looking out for your clients.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would highly suggest this, guys, if you're looking for, some more training. It's a fun class. I don't think it was too bad.
Yeah.
You learn a hell of a lot about how houses are built, what goes into them, and what to look for.
Right.
It really does comfort my clients knowing that, I'm looking out for them in this way, but also I'm seeing these issues before, the
They
general
become an
home
issue.
inspection.
Yes.
And so we can use these in our negotiations right from the start.
Right.
Where if you don't know this stuff,
Right.
you might make an offer and then get the home inspection and come back and have to, renegotiate. And, maybe the seller's not into it at that point. So I can cut it off right at the beginning.
For me, I like to, you'll see, I'm an educator, so I love to give people the information they need to succeed
Right.
in whatever they're doing. Because the more information you have, it makes it easier for everybody around you to understand.
Right.
And I try to explain that to my students that if you can't explain how a smoke detector works, then you need to study what makes the smoke detector work. Right? That makes you better at what you do, and it also enhances your client's ability to understand what the smoke detector does.
Of course. Okay. And then how important, how relevant it is to, their safety and whether or not they want to purchase that home.
Right. It's a big decision for them. So like you said, the more knowledge you have when you come in to flip a switch, you go, what's wrong with this switch?
Yeah.
It feels loose. It's lost its snap. You start to go check those other switches. It's like, a lot of these switches
Right.
have lost, they got some wear to it, But that helps you on your side of it too to explain to your clients.
Yeah. It also helps you explain to your clients that, with as far as the testing of testing the AC or the heat system times a year and stuff like that. What else was really helpful in there? I had it. It's on the tip of my tongue, I just lost it. It'll come back to me. I've also got some pictures I pulled up. These are just from the last couple months. I wanted to show some of the interesting stuff you guys run into.
Yeah.
So home inspectors are always going to find the good stuff, right? So when you get a, when you open up a listing, you're going to see all these great pictures of the property, all the good stuff.
Right.
And these guys are going to find the bad stuff. So what's going on here?
Well, here we had a problem with the hot leg of that outlet so far that it was a safety concern.
Obviously an old home.
Obviously a very old home, and so what happened was testing it, my sensor was not reading it correctly. As I went to go pull it out, the actual outlet slipped out.
Okay.
So I just thought, since it's out this far, let's just take it out. If you look at that picture there, what they did is they jumped the hot side of that outlet, and the electrical wiring in that house is aluminum.
Right.
So what they were trying to do is only a 2-wire system without a ground, so they were trying to bootleg the neutral side to show it had a ground, but it didn't show a ground, and it actually was doing some funny things with my tester. So that's why we continued to open it up. And so when I found that, what it is, the safety concern is they jumped the hot leg on the hot leg side, and it still showed an open ground. So it was a very serious safety concern because that aluminum is not a noble metal, and so it oxidizes first. It likes to grow in size when it heats up, and it likes to shrink in size when it cools down. And with that motion of back and forth, it becomes loose at the device, which causes an arc, which could cause a fire.
Right.
So this was kind of a life safety situation, which we had to bring to the attention of not just our buyers, but I had to explain to the clients how safety concerned this was.
So what's your recommendation in this?
Well, we need to get a professional on it. They need to get an electrician that knows what he's doing, because obviously if you look at how they jumped that with, low voltage ends crimped onto a wire and then jumped across like that, that green wire is, they use like car parts to jump it.
Yeah.
Very unsafe.
Very, very. All right, let's see what else we got here. Here we go. Looks like you're inside a wall looking at the back of a electrical box.
Right. What happened was, they tried to secure this box. It was a remodel job. Nails and screws are not allowed in your junction boxes. That's exactly what that is.
So this house probably looked really nice inside, all grays and whites and remodeled.
It was a beautiful paint job on the inside. And so we know that, a lot of these homes that get remodeled, it's a lot of surface touching.
Yep.
But below the surface, there might be some issues.
So what was the indicator to find this?
We had no power to an outlet. So as we started chasing it down, I come to find this box was actually loose in the wall. So as I pulled it away and looked behind it, you could see the sheetrock screws that they used to go through the box actually went through the Romex. And what this does is
So
this...
we're looking at the wall here.
Yes.
This is the hole for the box, and you pulled the box out of the hole.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it was loose
Right.
because the screws weren't touching nothing.
Right.
So I could actually... So we test all the outlets we could get to.
Right.
When we test it and pull our tester out, if the box moves, it's loose, so then we got to put our hand and pull the tester so we don't
Okay.
pull the box completely out. We get down to the next one, we had no power, so when I come back over to this loose one, I lifted it out to look behind it because it's obviously very loose, and this is what we found.
That's crazy.
It is crazy because they're causing an arc fault within those wires.
Right.
So if it didn't kill that circuit, it's hot.
There's another fire. Risk of shock, all sorts of reasons to get this resolved. All right, what else we got here? This was just last month.
Yeah, I think it was last month or I think before the month before that.
So anyone that follows Chris on Facebook, you're going to see his post about rooftop temperatures, and they're just shocking. They really are. This is April. I think your post said April 13th or 2nd or something.
Well, I'm looking at my gloves. Those are like brand new. They've since faded quite a bit since there, so we're probably somewhere around there. I could tell you, in the middle of summer, I've taken...
I have another one.
Okay.
Here we go. Middle of summer.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So 170
So
on
this
the
was
roof.
August.
Yes. I've taken temperatures here on the roof. That's probably August, maybe at 8 or 9 in the morning. I've been on the roof here in Las Vegas in the summer, in the afternoon. It was a remodel house, and they painted the roof black, and it was 190 degrees on the roof. What happens is in the summer, I like I said, Valerie and I we did about 450 homes last year. Out of those 450 homes, I walked 400 roofs, I would say.
Yeah.
So, we got drones and infrared cameras and all the other fancy stuff. But for me, I'm not getting the feel for the roof by flying over it with a camera.
Right.
So I've really got to get up there sometimes to see what's going on. But I've taken temperatures at 190 degrees. When I put the ladder up on that to the roof to walk up on it, I actually put the ladder up, I stick underneath the eaves, catch a couple of breaths, and then I walk up on. At 170 degrees, I give myself about 10 steps off the ladder and about 10 steps back to the ladder before I start to get dizzy.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Do you find that like an asphalt roof is hotter than tile? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's just going to collect it a little bit better.
Right. Yeah, the tar holds onto it, right?
Yeah, so I took a temperature at 190 degrees. Inside the attic, it was 160 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not using the non-contact thermometer. I'm actually using a meat thermometer, holding it up there for a second to see what the temperature actually is of the air.
Right.
Not the surface. So 160 degrees, I try to teach my students not to go into these attics.
Yeah. You can pass out up there.
Because you could pass out. I mean, I'm giving myself 10 steps at 170 degrees to give myself 10 steps back to that ladder at 170 degrees. That day, I'm not even wearing gloves. And I'm grabbing that hot ladder and heading on down.
Brave man. Let's see. Oh.
There we go.
So this picture, when I first looked at it as like a thumbnail, I was like, this has got to be a joke. And then I opened it. I thought it was like an actual person's face
Right.
superimposed into here, but
Right. You just never know what you're going to find out there on inspections. You know, in these Christie boxes they have for their low voltage electrical or irrigation.
Yeah.
You never want to put your finger in the hole to lift the lid. You always want to use a
Okay.
screwdriver or something because you never
Black
know what's in
widows,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm always expecting something to jump out at me. So when you lift the lid, you pull it back and you see a face staring at you, you're like, well, hello,
Was somebody buried here?
right? And he didn't look very unhappy, you know what I mean? So it was a little scary.
Yeah, that's a weird face to see. All right, what else is going on?
Too much fun.
There? So as I told you, I was telling you at the beginning of this, when we first get here, obviously we have some conversation, catch up. We were talking about our business and how it's doing, and we talked about how it slowed down because of COVID and how things have kind of picked up. So I was curious to actually see how much it had closed down and how much business is going on, because I wanted to share that with my buyers. So I started looking back at each day, going back, a couple days or back a month,
Yeah.
and seeing how many houses went into contract each day.
All right.
And I really expected to see 20, 30, but it was way more. So here's one that's looking like a month back. I think this is at least a couple weeks. So here you see on 5/2, 5/3, up to 5/21. So what we see here is we see the low point and a high point. I bet you can guess the low point.
Yeah. COVID?
Nope.
What's
Monday.
that? Oh, Monday.
Or sorry, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Uh-huh.
Monday. Because people generally want, most people are out looking for houses on the weekends. So you're not going to accept an offer on the weekend. You want to wait till Monday till all the offers come in.
Oh, okay.
So then we see acceptances on Mondays higher. I don't know why this, let's see, 5/11, 5/12. That one was just over 100 homes. But here we're up to 100, 148, over 125. But yeah, I mean, average over 90.
Wow.
It's pretty good each day.
Yeah, it's about a 20-day distance.
19 here.
19.
So yeah, you got single-family residential, condos, manufactured townhome, high-rise. High-rise is struggling along.
Yeah, they just kind of stay steady, don't they?
Average about one a day, the high-rises. So then, it's hard to read these numbers here, so I actually did a, just like a couple-day one. Let's get a closer view. So this was the 13th, 14th through the 21st.
Wow. Well, I know they've got record low financing, right? And mortgages
Yeah.
going on right now. It's amazing.
Because, it just got so difficult to qualify. So like I was working with a VA, and we've been working with them for a while, for 6, 7 months now, and get your score to 580, get your score to 580. We get there, pandemic happens. VA, in the government, it's still 580, but the lenders themselves
Uh-huh.
all jumped up to like 680. Some were 640. I think there was somebody who was 620.
Uh-huh.
But they had higher standards than other things.
Sure.
So the concern with these lenders is people's volatility in their jobs.
Yeah.
Are they going to have their job, and for how much longer?
Right.
So they're really taking into consideration what fields you're in. My girl tried to refinance her house because rates are so low.
Right.
But even though she's had a steady job for a long time, she works at the casinos.
Right.
And she's got the store here. The store's new, so we can't really take it into account yet.
Yeah.
But even with her ARIA job she's had for a long time, they still wouldn't refinance her until she's back on the job. So, because they don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going to happen. So I know they're worried. I know they've started to lax a little bit. They're starting to finally calm down.
Yeah.
And let people get financed, but I know it's still pretty tough.
Right. Right.
We've got another guy I'm working with. He can get qualified for FHA, but not for a conventional. But he wants the higher priced homes. So we're kind of just waiting until.
So he's around 350 where he wants to go into a conventional
so
and not make
FHA max right now is 345.
about 345.
If you're
Okay.
3% down, you could buy a house up to 355. But he wants 450, 500.
Right.
So we'd have to go to a conventional then. But then
Not necessarily qualifies.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
On paper.
So it's been rough with him because he has high expectations, but we're trying to work with it. And the biggest thing he's battling with is he lives in California. He can get qualified for FHA out there. Well, their median home price is way higher. So
Right.
Yeah, so their FHA is up to 450, 500,
Right.
or even higher. I think he said he can get qualified for 750 out there.
Holy cow.
But and then he's just dumbfounded. Why can't he get that here? And it just has to do with median
Yeah.
housing pricing.
Right. Right.
Okay, so let's catch up with some news. Let you chime in on this. This was put out May 6th. This was Sisolak's guide for realtors. It's pretty much been the same the whole time. Still no open houses. If you're going to go out and show houses, you can show houses that are vacant or owner occupied, but if they're tenant occupied, you cannot show the house. Even if they'll work with you, you're just not supposed to do it. I'll post up in the description a link to this. You guys can read it for yourselves, but pretty much the same thing we've been going through. Sisolak was supposed to give another meeting yesterday, but he called it off because he came into contact with somebody with coronavirus. So I think he was looking at doing a video message.
Yeah, then I think that got canceled and
Yeah.
they did a written notice or something like that.
Yeah. So then this morning, I got a notification earlier in the week of a kind of a town hall type thing with for realtors with Susie Lee. So she's one of our congressional representatives here in Nevada, and she did a call today, and I actually recorded it, but I didn't get any sound. So there's a couple interesting things she talked about here. She did say there's still $150 billion left in the PPPL and the EIDL. So they said that in the original you had to spend that money by I think the end of June. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But they're trying to, in the new package, trying to get it flexible till end of December 2020. She did talk about business liability. People were curious about, what's your liability of opening your business up and somebody coming in and getting sick. Obviously, if you're following guidelines set forth by the CDC and by the governors, then you should be fine. You won't be held liable. But if if the company is negligent, if they know of these issues, they're not following guidelines, and somebody gets sick, then you could be held liable. So, it's in your best interest to have people wear masks in your stores. Keep, the number of people down in your stores. I know we do here at the Family Health CBD. Again, wear masks. You carry your paper mask around.
Yeah, we got the mask.
Yeah, I've actually got a present for you. So I have been sewing masks.
I didn't know you were a sewer.
I do it all, man.
Yeah, I know.
I do it all.
I am just amazed.
These are my little masks I make. Got my trademark there, my logo from the show,
Yeah.
and I've got one for you,
Oh, how nice is
and
that?
one for Valerie.
Oh, man, she's really going to appreciate that. She will.
So they're cotton disposable. They're decent. This one's a
Wow.
little different than those. Those ones in the back in the middle, there's a little slit open where you can put another filter in there if you like.
Oh, perfect.
And then there's the little metal piece on the nose bridge to.
Wow, you're really a talented guy, aren't you? He is selling these for $25 a piece, by the way.
Actually, $12.
Oh, $12, I'm sorry.
You can come down here to Family Health CBD, and I've got all sorts of different designs out there. You don't have to buy my retrade logo ones, but
Wow, those are really nice.
yeah, I've got some new ones that have little mustaches on them.
Oh, so you got
Lips.
the smiley faces on them?
I'm working on it. Yeah,
yeah.
I actually did the Raiders and the Golden Knights. Sorry for licensing. Don't sue me. But yeah, you can come down here to Family Health CBD off of Eastern and Serene off the 215 and pick up a mask for $12. I do got to work on some kids sizes. I've had some people come in with kids and try one of the ones on, and they're just way too big.
Too big for the kids, huh?
I don't have any kids to practice on.
Just got to cut eyes out for them.
There you go. Getting them to wear them, that's another thing.
Well, that's another thing too. It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal to put something across your face and
It's definitely not.
block your air intake.
Yeah, these ones, when I first started making them, this is a fleece,
Uh-huh.
and it was really nice then because it was cooler, but now that it's hot, this is way too hot.
Yeah.
So those are all cotton.
How cool
That's
is
why you
that?
didn't get the blue and orange.
Yeah, the masker, they're difficult to work in,
Yes.
They are very difficult to work in.
Yeah.
But they're pretty much a necessity right now for our lives.
All right, Fox 5 News is talking about free parking, disinfected dice, what you can expect when Las Vegas strip casinos reopen. Talked about being down there on Memorial Day. It was pretty dead. Deadest Memorial Day I've ever seen. There is a June 4th target date for one-by-one strip properties to roll out their safety plans. They say they're all going to be pretty similar. I know the Venetian is like on top of their game.
Are they?
Yeah, they're ready to open. Good friend of mine from the lake. He's one of their head maintenance guys out there.
Uh-huh.
And he's been very busy putting in all these plexiglass dividers between the players and the seats and stuff like that. We'll see how people like it, I guess if you're a gambler, it won't really matter, but some people just like the going in there and talking. So
Yeah,
if they like
right.
that, we're part of it.
Well, this is part of our culture here is Las Vegas. You got to
Yeah.
get into the casinos, even if it's just to go to a restaurant.
So they do have disinfected dice. They're going to do temperature checks and physical barriers. What you won't see on this when they open is pools, day clubs, nightclubs, buffets, and daily housekeeping. Paid parking gone away, so that's good. I know we all, as locals, hated the paid parking. Uber made a lot of money on us because they put parking in paid parking.
Right. Uber and Lyft.
Change is a big plus for locals. Yeah. What's we seeing here? Off-strip casinos. Let's see. The bigger hotels have more space, so they can have more people. On the other hand, smaller ones have smaller footprints, so they might be less costly to maintain. Either way, it's a gamble. Yeah, so I know everybody's eager to get out and play, but just keep in mind your safety.
Yeah, I've got family members that they want to come here to Las Vegas,
Yeah.
to visit, and telling them, not yet,
Okay.
not yet.
Oh, I
Give
didn't
us some
finish
time.
Going through my Susie Lee things here. I jumped into some more news. Let's see here. Somebody asked about a deduction for lost rent to property owners. So she says they're definitely looking into that. It's still being negotiated, so we'll see how that goes. They asked about credit score impacting mortgage forbearance. So if you're doing a mortgage forbearance, will it impact your credit? She says no. But if you do have to, redo your mortgage or something to bring the cost down and stuff, that might impact your credit.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if COVID is protected under fair housing. Not officially, but it kind of falls into like a stigma situation. We can't, as realtors, stigmatize properties where somebody has maybe died in it or there was a meth lab or whatever. We're not supposed to talk about that stuff. Same goes for COVID. If there was a COVID patient there, maybe that passed away, I would assume the house would be disinfected and it wouldn't be a problem anymore.
I would hope.
We would hope.
I would hope.
What else here? Oh, this was a good question. Somebody asked about workers not wanting to go back to work because they make more money on unemployment. Think about that. It's true. So,
It's true.
Yeah, so she said it was, obviously they had to put together a plan that would work for everybody, not for individuals. So some people are going to make more money than they made before, some are making less. She did say that if people are refusing, if your job has come back and you're offered your job back, you have to go back to your job. You're not qualified for unemployment anymore. So if you have problems, if you're a business owner and you have problems with that, let them know that this is a full offer for their job back, and if they're not going to take it, then they won't qualify for unemployment again because they're no longer laid off.
Was there any exceptions for the rule? I know that I heard something about,
I think
the
if
fear
you're-
of COVID,
Yeah,
or
if
if you
you're
have
still sick,
an
or
immune
if you-
system
Yeah.
compromise.
I think if you have some compromise, if you have a good reason, I don't know if you need to get a doctor's letter or something like that. She didn't really go into it too much.
Yeah, I would assume you would probably get some type of a medical,
Yeah, it's something you
Letter.
need to try to work out with your
because that's going to be an interesting thing, because I'm
employees
sure
or your
there,
company.
a lot of people are fearful, or maybe they have a family member at home that's
Something they need to care
immune
for still.
compromised
Yeah.
or something, yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be tough to, if you live with your grandmother and she's
Right,
90, right?
Right.
You'd be concerned about going to work and bringing it home to her.
right.
So I can see that could be a fear. Somebody asked about assistance for, property owners who their sole income is through rental properties that are currently vacant. She said to look into the PUA, which is the unemployment assistance for independent contractors.
But if the rental units, if they're expecting, let's just make up a number, $5,000 a month, how's unemployment going to offset that 5,000? I don't.
Unemployment doesn't do that. There's just a set number, so like the $600 a month.
Right.
Yeah,
Get
so
it.
it's something.
We haven't applied, so.
Right. Did you apply for PPL or anything like that?
No, our tax people told us to stay away from it,
Yeah.
the PPP,
You don't
because.
have employees and stuff to take care of?
Well, we do. We
can
have
pay yourself.
us. Yes,
Right.
right. We do have us, but we don't have employers. We are training a gentleman, Jeffrey Thomas, to work with us, and just before the COVID-19
Outstanding.
broke out, he wasn't quite there signing paperwork with us, but we're looking into it. But we were told to stay kind of clear away from it. We're not looking at, we don't have a lot of overhead for employees
Yeah.
at this point.
If you don't need it,
Yeah.
don't go for it.
I mean, and we're staying afloat by with the work we're doing.
Right.
I mean, it's still steady out there. It's slowed down a little bit, but it's still steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My work has slowed down, but mostly in my lower property houses,
Sure, sure.
actually. So I'm still working with clients looking for $500,000-$600,000.
Well, it's amazing. The mortgage percentage is just,
Yeah.
it's out there. I mean, you got to really take advantage of that at this point.
You'd be surprised how many big houses are actually still selling, like
Yeah.
mansions and stuff.
Right.
Because they found that if you don't have money right now, you don't have money. But if you do have money, you're doing very well at this moment.
Sure.
There's a lot of people doing very well because of this. That was about it. She took about 10 minutes, 12 minutes to talk about how she feels about COVID, and she talked about masks, and those who are wearing masks, don't assume they're doing it because they're scared of getting sick or the virus. That they're being respectful to others. And then she thanked Realtors, gave out her number for her office. If you guys ever have any questions filling out any forms, just any questions for her, you can always call her office, 702-963-9336. I'll put that up on the screen. All right, back to some news. NAR is funding 2 months of telehealth access. So this is quality health care without leaving your home. You can visit a doctor using your smartphone, tablet, or computer. It's 24/7. Enrollment is fast, easy, same-day access available. Verify your NAR membership. Looks pretty simple. I haven't done it because I still have my own health care I take care of. But if you need some health care, at least somebody to talk to, I think they can write prescriptions and stuff for you as well. Check that out. And then on a fun note, metalinjection.net tells us the Slayers Kerry King buys a home in Las Vegas for $3.81 million. Said something about it being one of the highest paid for houses this year, like the number 4, I guess, paid cash houses.
It'd be nice that kind of cash in my
Wouldn't
pocket,
that
you know? Yeah. Yeah, let's buy 2 of them.
Exactly. So the listing, if you want to check it out, agents, MLS number 215-8752. Looks like it was listed by Gavin over there at Simply Vegas, and he double-ended that. Lucky guy. That'd be a nice commission check.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a great one to double end.
Right?
I'll show you some pictures, but I logged out. We were talking for too long. All right, Chris, I think we've been here for, I don't know how long, a little while.
Yeah.
Let's see how long we've been here for. Ooh, an hour. Longest one yet.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Most of them go about 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Oh, well, you know, I'm used to just talking.
You do?
Yeah.
You're good at it.
I am. I'm really good at talking.
I remember a couple times in the class, Monday, come back and we're going to the class and everybody's half asleep and people could be zoning out, falling asleep, and you just still out there going.
Yeah. Yeah, Mondays are tough for class.
It's like, I'm here to teach, and if you want to listen, then you'll listen, and if not, you'll fail your test.
You know, and if I put this out there to everybody I come across. If you ever got any questions, please give me a call. I'll clarify it for you. You know, it's not an opinion. I'll get down to the facts for you. So.
In the description, we're going to have contact links for Chris's website, his Facebook page, his phone number, email. Anything else you want to tell everybody?
My blood type.
So another thing I'm doing for all my guests is I'm creating a database of all my guests, so that if you're a new agent and you don't know a home inspector, you can check out Chris's, you check my home inspection page, and there you'll see pictures of the home inspectors, and you can click on a video and get a 30-second elevator speech for each agent. If you like what they say, you can watch a whole interview with them, so they can go back and watch this whole thing. But it's a good place that they can actually send these links to their clients too, if their clients don't know who to pick. That way you're not pushing anybody on your clients, which is what you're not supposed to do. And so we'll let you have 30 seconds. Go ahead and introduce yourself to somebody like they've never met you.
Right. Well, I'm Chris Flannery with CV Inspections. I've spent a career behind the code books, so I'm big on life safety. But I do teach at Key Realty School, and it's funny because before I could even get out of the course, I was already receiving a letter basically from the state to tell me that I could teach the course. But we do a thorough job. My wife and I work together. So typically, if it take a regular home inspector 3 hours, it usually takes us about an hour and a half because there's 2 of us there working at that building. But we do really appreciate you. So give us a call. Check us out. Just check us out. If you have any questions, there's no obligation. Give us a call. We're here to help you through the process. That's what we're here for. We're here to help the industry in a whole. That's why I'm here. Not just to make money, but to help people. Yes, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Michael.
That was great.
Yeah.
Probably one of our best ones yet.
Well, you say that to all the kids.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the retrade next week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you can get notifications when we post up a new show. Check out our Facebook, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Bye now.